Jaylen Brown walked into Friday night carrying something heavier than just the responsibility of leading the Boston Celtics. He carried a lesson. 2 nights earlier, after a frustrating loss to the Denver Nuggets, Brown stood in front of reporters and spoke candidly about how Denver's physicality and the lack of whistles affected him mentally. It was an honest admission from a player who has spent a decade in the league and is now learning, in real time, what it truly means to be the focal point of an elite NBA franchise. Against the Toronto Raptors, Brown was given an immediate opportunity to respond. What followed was not a perfect performance, but it was a revealing one, showing growth, maturity, and the reality of life as a superstar in the modern NBA. Toronto arrived in Boston with a very clear game plan. Just like Denver had done, the Raptors decided that if the Celtics were going to beat them, it would not be comfortably through Jaylen Brown. From the opening possession, Toronto applied relentless pressure on Boston's ball handlers. Brown, in particular, became the main target of their defensive scheme. Whenever he touched the ball, defenders crowded his space. Pick and rolls were blitzed aggressively, driving lanes were cut off, and help defenders were constantly lurking, ready to collapse the paint. The Raptors did everything they could to make the game uncomfortable. They pushed the limits of physicality, challenged every dribble, and forced Brown to process the game at a faster pace than usual. In many ways, it looked like a replay of what the Nuggets had done just days before. The difference this time was not the defense. The difference was how Jaylen Brown responded to it. Brown's stat line alone does not fully explain his impact. He finished with 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in Boston's 125-117 victory. He turned the ball over 4 times and did not score with his usual efficiency from the field. On paper, it was not one of his cleanest performances. But the game was never about perfection. It was about adjustment. From the very first quarter, it was clear that Brown was approaching the game differently. Instead of forcing his way through traffic or hunting shots early in possessions, he played with patience. He accepted that Toronto was determined to take something away from him and chose to focus on what the defense was giving instead. When lanes closed, he kicked the ball out. When defenders overcommitted, he attacked the rim with control rather than speed. And when contact came, he absorbed it and earned trips to the free throw line. Joe Mazzulla, Boston's head coach, highlighted this exact point after the game. He praised Brown for making strong reads and influencing the game beyond scoring. Brown's 8 rebounds and 7 assists were not accidental. They were the result of deliberate choices made under pressure. Mazzulla pointed out how Brown found easy opportunities in transition, got to the free throw line 13 times, and consistently made the right play when Toronto tried to trap him. One play in particular summed up Brown's night. Late in the shot clock, with fewer than 5 seconds remaining, Brown drove into the paint. 3 Raptors defenders collapsed on him, clearly intent on forcing a difficult shot or a turnover. Instead of panicking, Brown calmly read the floor, recognized the extra defender, and fired a precise pass to Peyton Pritchard in the corner. The buzzer sounded as the ball left Pritchard's hands, and the three-pointer dropped. It was not just a highlight assist, it was a statement. It showed awareness, trust, and composure under pressure. After the game, Brown spoke openly about the adjustment process he is currently going through. Despite being in his 10th NBA season, he emphasized that he is still learning. With increased responsibility comes increased attention from opposing defenses, and that requires constant adaptation. Brown acknowledged that he is being asked to create more, read more, and lead more than ever before. He also stressed the importance of giving himself grace during that process, recognizing that growth does not happen overnight and that the season is far from finished. This mindset is critical because what Brown is experiencing now is the reality faced by every true superstar. When a player reaches a certain level, defenses stop playing them straight up. Instead, they design entire schemes around disrupting their rhythm. That is the tax of greatness. The league studies tendencies, removes comfort zones, and forces stars to evolve or struggle. One of the most encouraging signs from Friday's game was Brown's ability to get to the free throw line. Drawing fouls is often overlooked, but it is one of the clearest indicators of a player's maturity. When shots are not falling, elite players find ways to manufacture points. Brown's improvement in this area has been significant this season. He is averaging more than 2 additional free throw attempts per game compared to last year, and that progress was on full display against Toronto. There is no single formula for drawing fouls, but controlled aggression plays a major role. Brown attacked the basket with balance, avoided reckless drives, and put defenders in positions where they had to make difficult choices. Instead of trying to finish over multiple bodies, he embraced contact, kept his composure, and trusted the officials to make the call. That is a subtle but important shift from previous seasons, where frustration sometimes led to forced shots or rushed decisions. This contrast was especially noticeable when compared to the previous loss against Denver. In that game, Brown occasionally tried to overpower the defense, leading to tough looks and missed opportunities. Against Toronto, he showed restraint. He recognized when to attack and when to move the ball. That awareness allowed the Celtics' offense to stay balanced and effective even when Brown was being heavily pressured. Equally important was how Boston's supporting cast responded. Toronto's aggressive defense left openings elsewhere on the floor, and the Celtics made the Raptors pay for selling out on ball pressure. Peyton Pritchard delivered one of his best performances of the season with 27 points. Sam Hauser knocked down timely shots on his way to 19 points. Derek White contributed 18, while Anthony Simons added 15. Each of those performances was, in part, a direct result of Brown's willingness to trust his teammates. Basketball at the highest level is rarely about individual dominance alone. It is about making the correct read over and over again. Brown's teammates rewarded his decision-making, and in return, the Celtics maintained offensive flow and composure down the stretch. This game also served as a reminder that leadership is not always loud or flashy. Sometimes leadership is staying calm when the game gets ugly. It is resisting frustration when calls do not go your way. It is empowering teammates when defenses dare you to do everything yourself. Brown's post-game comments reflected that understanding. He spoke about reading the game better, trusting his teammates, and playing the right way. Those are not empty phrases. They are principles that winning teams live by. For the Celtics, this performance reinforced confidence in Brown as their engine during this stretch without Jason Tatum. Boston's success this season has been built on adaptability, and Brown's evolution is central to that identity. The Celtics do not need him to score 40 points every night. They need him to set the tone, absorb pressure, and make the game easier for everyone else. From a broader perspective, Brown's night against Toronto represents the reality of being a star in today's NBA. Defenses are smarter, schemes are more aggressive, and physicality is pushed to its limits. The margin for error is small. Stars are judged not only by their scoring totals, but by how they respond when defenses take away their first option. Jaylen Brown did not dominate in the traditional sense on Friday night. He adapted, he adjusted, he led, and in doing so, he gave the Celtics exactly what they needed to secure a tough win against a determined opponent. As the season continues, challenges like this will only become more frequent. Teams will continue to throw different looks at Brown, testing his patience, decision-making, and emotional control. But if this performance is any indication, Brown is learning quickly. He is embracing the responsibility, accepting the pressure, and growing through it. The NBA season is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be nights where shots fall effortlessly and nights where every possession feels like a battle. What defines great players is not how they look when everything is easy, but how they respond when the game becomes uncomfortable. On Friday night, Jaylen Brown showed that he is learning to thrive in that discomfort, and if this is just another step in his evolution, the rest of the league should take notice, because a Jaylen Brown who can score, facilitate, draw fouls, and stay composed under relentless pressure is not just an all-star. He is the foundation of a contender. If you enjoyed this deep breakdown of Jaylen Brown's growth and what it means for the Boston Celtics moving forward, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest NBA analysis and Celtics coverage.